Voter turnout for the election runoff is reportedly low in many parts of the country. Many voters complained of a heavy police presence inside polling stations. That ended up deterring people from casting their ballots. Many were forced to walk to their nearest voting station because of a driving ban imposed on election day for security reasons. Concern over policing comes after the National Electoral Commission last week said that police had tried to intimidate staff in the run-up to the vote. Major Paul Kagbo said the armed forces had been inside the polling stations to ensure a peaceful ballot, but after an argument he agreed to pull all police officers and soldiers outside.
We have to supervise free and fair election from the start to the end. So that's why my military personnel are in all the various police stations. So if we have come together, SFPs are saying they don't want to see military personnel in the police station. It has been accepted based upon general consensus. So the guys are going to be outside, no trouble, so that we ensure the election goes on undisturbed.
Well, the slow turnout, they get account from different parts of the country for saying because of the huge presence of security forces, both the military and the police, that they make some people afraid to come out in their numbers to vote like they did the last time.
CGTN Susan Mwangeli is live with us now from the capital, Freetown. Susan, just talk us through the key highlights from voting today in this crucial poll.
Well, Lindy, it's a few minutes past 17 local time, and the polls have closed in most polling centers. And basically today was a rather slow day because there was not that much of the voter turnout was not as much as they had expected. From our morning, polls opened at around 7 a.m. But even then, we were seeing shorter lines, not as the same lines as the same queues that we saw in March 7th. So that has been one of the key issues that has come up in these elections. Now, the other one is the heavy security deployment. Everywhere you would go today, there was just heavy security in the polling centers, on the streets, both military and the police. And this has made a lot of people, especially the opposition, they have been complaining about this and raised concern that this is one form of intimidation. But basically, the National Electoral Commission had said that this would be necessary to ensure that the vote is all secure. So currently what is happening is that the vote tallying process, the vote counting has begun, and they're doing it. This is one of the polling centers that this is happening, and it's happening across hundreds of polling centers in the country. So after they have been counted, they will be transported manually to the National Tallying Center, where again all this will be put together, and eventually we can be able to know the results. But generally speaking, today has just been a slow day. The voter turnout has been a concern, and also, as I said there, the security deployment has raised concerns here.
And Susan, as you say, of course, vote counting is already underway, but when should we expect the final results? And at this stage, is there any indication as to who is likely to win?
Well, one of the things is that this was a very straightforward kind of election, because we just have two candidates, that is Samura Kamara and Julius Madabio. So the process should be a bit faster than perhaps what we saw in March 7 election. But also at the same time, the Election Commission has about a week to announce these results. But we are expecting that hopefully in the next 2 days we can be able to know who the president is. The other thing is that because of the low voter turnout, then people are saying that it's going to be a much faster process. Well, to know exactly who will win this election is quite difficult, because remember, in the last election they were neck to neck really, and the difference between the two was very small. So it's really difficult at this point to tell who is going to emerge victorious. So we just wait for the National Electoral Commission to finish up with the process, then we can be able to know the way forward.
Absolutely. Well, a tight contest indeed. Thank you so much, Susan Mwangeli, joining us there live from Freetown in Sierra Leone.